This is the Limitless Keith Lee.
This is Brody King.
This is Angel Garza.
Will Ospreay.
Hornswoggle.
Pentagon Junior.
The Mexican Ray Phoenix.
King Ricochet.
Concrete Rose, Sunny Kiss.
And I'm here to ask you to stop what you're doing, take just one moment, and bask in the glory of the Busted Wide Open.
Busted Wide Open.
Busted Wide Open.
Busted Wide Open.
Busted Wide Open. Boston Wide Open.
Busted Wide Open. Thank you.
You're listening to the Busted Wide Open podcast, dropping the elbow on the hottest topics in sports entertainment and the world of professional wrestling. With your hosts, Nick Howell and Sir Ian Dangerous. Coming to you from the Orbital Jigsaw Network Arena in sunny Southern California. Welcome everybody to BWO Live, coming to you from across the Busted Wide Open universe of Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. This is the BWO Mailbag, episode number 93. My name is Nick Howell.
And I am Sir Ian Dangerous, and yes, we are here to answer your questions. You've asked us questions, that being those of you on YouTube or in Patreon who are in one of our lovely reward tiers. They're actually not that expensive. All you have to do is just go over to patreon.com/BWO or YouTube on our YouTube channel, which you can find by going to linktree.com/BWO. Sign up for one of our reward tiers. Almost nothing. Cup of coffee once a month. And you too can ask us questions right here on this very show every week. It's that easy. And you can ask us anything you want. It is an AMA, open format. You can ask us about anything you like. Obviously, we're a wrestling show, so typically they're about wrestling, but it can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
Have at it. We'll answer anything. We'll do our best. A lot of times it's fun to just watch us squirm, I know, but at the same time, we enjoy it as well. It's a lot of fun here on the show, which means, Nick, no more to do. Let's get right into it, and let's answer some of these questions. What do we have going on this week?
We got a lot today. We got a lot to go through today. Strap in, folks. Lots of questions to go through today. Thank you guys, everybody, for sending in all these questions. We love these. Patrick Kennedy kicking us off in the first position tonight. Says, good evening, phenomenal pod fathers. My question this week is about RPGs. Like rocket-propelled grenades? RPG!
Role-playing
Every war
games.
movie ever. Oh, role-playing games. I'm sorry.
Role-playing games. Jesus.
I finally got a PS4 and can't stop playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
Thank you for talking it up. Absolutely loving everything about it. But I digress. What are your top five console RPGs of all time?
Ooh.
My favorite would be Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. Have a great week, everybody, and stay phenomenal.
Those are good. Those are good ones. Before BioWare went to shit.
Yeah.
What a fall from grace that company had. Good Lord. Ending a Mass Effect is probably one of the most frustrated I've ever been in video games. I hate shitty endings.
You're talking about the Andromeda stuff? Or
No, that was... I'm talking about Mass Effect 3.
Okay.
Oh, I was mad. I invested how many hours in your game? I tried so hard to do so much work with so many characters, all the side quests, and this is my reward?
Don't spoil it, because they just put out the remastered ones.
Lick my entire ball sack front to back. F them. No one should be giving them money. I don't want anyone. Don't buy the remasters. I mean, Mass Effect 2 is one of the greatest games ever made, but still, it's just stop there. Or stop like 3/4 of the way through Mass Effect 3, but even then it won't be satisfying, because you'll be like, what happens? I don't know. What happens is shit. That's what happens.
There's only one answer for the number one for this one.
Don't say Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
No.
Of course. And then it's a smattering of Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger's really good.
Ultima, Kingdom Hearts. I'm trying to think of... I get my PC games mixed up with my console games, because I was playing a lot of PC games before I really got into consoles.
So you're going like hardcore RPG. You're not just like you're not like my top 5 would be like Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3,
right,
Bloodborne, and Fallout 3. or maybe Skyrim. Skyrim might be better than... I think
Skyrim deserves to be in the top 5.
Skyrim might be better than Fallout 3. I think it is. I'm going to put Skyrim.
Why don't you just use one and say Dark Souls as...
Soulsborne games,
Yes.
Demon Souls. Yeah,
Yes.
Demon Souls can be number 5. All right, so all of the Souls games can be the number 1 slot for me.
Yeah, and the new Demon Souls, which is apparently
That's
fantastic.
much-
I haven't played it yet because I don't have a
it's so-
PS5.
Oh my god, dude, the graphics are insane.
Final Fantasy VII, Mass Effect 2, Ocarina of Time.
Is that role playing though?
Chrono Trigger?
Because you,
Yeah, I think it's a role playing
I guess
game.
so.
You're putting
yeah.
gear on. You're
It's
kind
an
of building your
adventure
character
game.
out. Yeah.
Not the same way. You're not doing like all the stat crunching. Like proper role playing games, like I think there's got to be some stat crunching involved.
He particularly
Otherwise,
called
it's
out
an adventure game.
consoles, and I'm going to include it because they did eventually make it for consoles. You can't have an action RPG conversation without including Diablo.
Oh,
Hard stop.
Yeah.
It is probably the game second only maybe to World of Warcraft that I've spent most of my time on as a video gamer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I've definitely spent a stupid amount of hours.
And they're
playing
getting
Diablo.
September 23rd, Ian. We have an official date now for the Diablo 2 remastered edition version, resurrected they call it. So, Patrick, if you've never played Diablo, now's the time because they are releasing a console version of Diablo 2 remastered, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, right now,
I'm
Diablo
going to be
3,
off the
you
show.
can
I'm
get,
going to be lost in hell.
If you literally, if you play Diablo 3 right now, they have the perfect edition. Everything's smooth as silk. They finally got all the bugs worked out. They keep adding new content. The end game is actually worthwhile playing now. So like getting Diablo 3 right now is the best time to get it. Like when it came out initially, it's crap. Now it's actually really good. So picking it up is actually you get it for a song on console now.
That's my 5.
All right.
Final Fantasy VII, Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger's in mine.
Mass Effect 2, Ocarina of Time, Diablo. I'm just lumping in all the Diablos.
All right. That's a good list right there.
Yep. I love RPG games.
I'm gonna throw some love in for Final Fantasy 2. Well, United States Final Fantasy 2. I think it was 4 in Japan, but 2 here. The one where you go to the moon. It's good stuff.
10 was really good also as a console RPG game. It was pretty good. It was a nice long game too.
I couldn't do the grind after a while.
Yeah.
Like I get it.
I'm running across the field. I can't run across the field without 10 fights.
Yeah. I just
Stop it!
I just
want
across
some
the
more
field.
potions.
I just want to go to that town over there. Stop fighting me.
Thank you very much, Patrick.
Thank you.
Next up, Alex Washington says, "Hey guys, what's up? Hope all is great this week with you. With Bray Wyatt being released, if he continues wrestling, where would you like to see him? For me, I think it would be Impact. They've always done well with pushing the envelope with dark, spooky characters, and I feel like he could bring some great creativity just like Broken Matt did."
Bray and Impact. You're not wrong. Impact is definitely willing to push the envelope, but Bray isn't necessarily all spooky-ooky. I mean, he kind of is, but doesn't have to be necessarily supernatural. Like Swamp Bray wasn't necessarily supernatural. He hinted that he might be, but then the character evolved into something else. Now the question is, does he take that character and try to evolve it? Or what I suspect is he actually goes meta with it and creates a character that, like, is basically, it has evolved from what he was in WWE. Like he shed his skin and now he's something else. And he can make winking references to what he was in WWE, but really it's something new. Kind of like what The Fiend was to Swamp Bray.
Yeah.
But less direct. And Impact would definitely be, I think, the company he would have the most leeway to do that. AEW is so packed every week. I don't know if it has room to tell that story. They're not even telling the story of Malachi Black yet. He's just there. He's a dude with weird, kind of half skull face paint and wears black. They haven't told a story at all.
And we're barely got started with Andrade too.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think you're wrong, Alex. I think that Impact might be the best place currently between their production and their willingness to go to those other places and really tell the story and let their talent tell those stories. That might be the best place if he wants to go tell those stories. Now, if he wants to go somewhere else where he's going to get paid, then AEW might be a better option. But This is all assuming that he's in a mental headspace to even want to come back to wrestling. We don't know. He might want to go drive a school bus, which would also make me very happy.
As Funhouse Bray.
Imagine getting on the school bus and he's like, "Hi, kids!
See you in hell!
See you in hell!" I love it.
I have a hunch he's coming back to WWE. I have a hunch he's Braun situation, too big of a contract. Had to make some big deal to make sure that he could see the Fiend character through to the end. He got paid, and now it's just too big. And I think it's going to be a renegotiation thing of cutting his contract, and he comes back at some point. But yeah, he may very well be done. He's been at it for a while.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Thank you, Alex. Next up, Marshall says, "Evening, fellas. Now that we know of Jericho's third labor, Hoovy, how do you each foresee his final 2 labors, assuming he wins this Wednesday? For me, I could see MJF putting him in a match with Sammy Guevara and making it a lose-lose situation for. It'd be poetic as hell.
Sammy Guevara,
as always, waiting for Model. Thank you, Marshall.
Yeah. Thank you, Marshall. Thank you, dude. I honestly, either honestly took the words out of my mouth. Someone from Inner Circle. Yeah. Maybe Sammy to make it hurt and make it a first blood or last man standing match. Or make it against Hager. And
Hager,
the same kind of thing.
No, that was the Inner Circle versus Pinnacle stuff.
And the reason I say Hager is because Hager would be scarier. Like Sammy's for the heart, Hager's for the punishment.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So that would definitely be poetic. The only downside of that booking then would be that Jericho would have to beat someone from Inner Circle, and everyone would start complaining that Jericho's putting himself over, right? So they'd have to book it very carefully. Where you'd have the member of Inner Circle sacrifice themselves for Jericho, or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first thought too, is someone from Inner Circle. It does seem to be at this point, like we started off with someone from Pinnacle, and then now we're kind of going on, hired guns. Nick, who do you think outside of AEW, like an indie wrestler or someone who we haven't seen in a while, like Hoovy, maybe from Jericho's past, who do you bring in that he has to wrestle? And don't say Dean Malenko. Obviously, that would be tasteless. Who do you see him wrestling?
Are you getting Ghosts of Christmas Past kind of vibes from this? Because I am. Like, why are we bringing back Juventud? So who else has he had feuds with? I mean,
that's what I'm thinking.
Kevin Owens? What other? Like, he's not bringing Kevin Owens in.
No, not bringing. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, who else is
Stephanie
available?
McMahon?
Who else is available? Come on.
Beer Eyes is Fandango. That's not a reach. But I don't know that it's not as big as Juventud Guerrera,
Fandango would be funny, but it certainly wouldn't have the impact. And I think he's still under 90 day, but who knows what the contracts these days.
I could totally see who has he had big feuds with in the past in New Japan. Kyle, get out of my head. He had
Okada, Naito,
big fights with Naito.
Naito, Tanahashi. Tanahashi is over here right now.
Cutting promos on Moxley and all that shit, but is
he's
that
gonna be here? I'm gonna be my first wrestling show back on the 14th. I'll be going and seeing New Japan here in Los Angeles at the Coliseum. I'll be seeing Moxley. I'll be seeing Tanahashi, Good Brothers, Jay White, all the rest.
Ooh, Dreamer's a good one, but I mean, they're bringing back Hoovy, so you never know.
Impact is in play, so anyone from Impact.
That's the other thing I was thinking about with Bray, by the way. Not to go back to that, but would Bray going to Impact be just completely overshadowed by everything that's going on with the Elite crossover right now? That'd be my fear for Bray going to Impact.
As of right now, if Bray is on a 90-day, which I think we can safely assume he is, that's October, late October. So by then we should be all right. He should have, and then how do they bring him in right away? Do they slowly build him up? and this is all contingent on him wanting to get right back into things, and him having an idea by that point. So a lot of up in the air with that. But we're talking about Jericho and other things that he could do. Whoever he faces has to be someone that can lose to him as well. So like Josh Alexander from Impact would be cool. Josh Alexander ain't going to lose to Jericho at this point in his career.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's got to be someone that Jericho can beat and have it make sense and also not hurt their career. So like big people from New Japan like Naito, like Tanahashi. Jericho's beaten them already. Like they're not going to come in to AEW just to lose again to Jericho.
They're all people that are still with WWE, like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, The Rock, Mysterio. He spent
20 years there, so of course there's a lot of like stuff from there. So you have to look. We got to look back in the WCW days. Who's still around, who may have gone through WWE afterwards, who was in WCW. Or go back to Smoky Mountain. Maybe they bring in Lance Storm.
Could this be? I mean, obviously they've got Darby Allin hinting at best in the world for CM Punk. Is it possible that they have CM Punk come back to be one of the feuds in Chicago on next Friday?
No,
for Rampage?
Again, not going to bring him back to lose. To Jericho. That's always the thing. You think about it. They got to lose. Lance Storm could come in and be like, "Hey, here's your old buddy," and you can bring in Lance Storm to lose to him. Same idea as Sammy, but he doesn't have to beat an upcoming star.
I'm trying to think of, like, he's got people in the company that he's had feuds with in the past, like Christian. He's got Kenny Omega there, like, but they're not. I don't know that. I mean, Kenny's busy. Christian isn't big enough to be like the number 1 or number 2 trial. But I mean, Michaels, Benoit, Malenko, Mysterio. I'm going down the list of like Owens, Ultimo Dragon.
I think you're thinking too hard about this.
Yeah, I am. I'm out of ideas that aren't WWE people.
All right. Well, there you go, Marshall.
Yep. There you go, Marshall.
I think your idea is the best. Sammy or someone close to him, like Lance Storm, and make it a first blood match or a last man standing match.
Yeah. Make him have to hurt them.
Make him have to hurt them.
Yeah,
make it hurt him.
That's the trial. Is
hurt his soul.
Yeah. I mean, in that sense, he's not going to lose to Dean Malenko, but he's going to have to hurt him to put him down because Dean's not just going to lay down.
Exactly.
And we've made a point about that already with having Dean on the show taking a bump. I don't know. Liger's retired, Kyle. Like officially.
That would be awesome, though.
That would be an awesome return.
Yeah, that'd be.
Come out of retirement to face Jericho. Yes, that'd be cool.
Oh man.
Thank you very much, Marshall. Next up, Mr. Andy Jessup.
Have him face Keishan Liger.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Next up, Andy Jessup says, "Good day, gents. The way the Labors of Jericho is panning out, this feels a bit like a retirement tour. If this is, do you think he'll be done with wrestling or stick around in some capacity?"
I can answer this really quickly, Nick.
Yep.
It's not a retirement tour. If he did stick around, it would be to be commentary, because he likes to talk and he's really good at it.
Yep.
So yeah, Jericho's one of those guys, like many wrestlers, it's in his blood. He's never going to truly leave it. Like he might go out and do some Fozzy stuff, but he's going to come back to wrestling. He's always going to come back to wrestling. He's always going to be involved somehow. And he's one of those guys, you're going to have to like amputate a leg for him to stop getting in the ring.
Yeah. I agree. No, absolutely no way in hell this is a retirement tour.
Nope.
Yeah. I can see where you can get that though.
It's because here's the thing. You can do like big callback matches at points in your career. It doesn't mean it's a retirement.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we had, like Hogan was doing that in WWE. It wasn't a retirement. It was just like, hey, remember this wasn't this cool. You know, make some more money on the callback.
Yeah.
Flair was doing that forever too, where you were like having callback matches with Flair. Like any of those guys that you can say, hey, remember when this was a cool match, and do it again. You know. So.
Yep. Thank you very much, Andy. Next up, the Mop Man himself. Oh, let me do some call-outs real quick. Killer B-Rye resubbed with a tier 1 for 11 months. Oh, my God. You know what that means. That means you get a little bit of chicken. Thank you very much, Killer B-Rye. He also threw in 100 bits, said if Ring of Honor was in play, imagine PCO versus Bray Wyatt.
Ooh. That'd be fun. They definitely operate in a different reality. But that's one. But what else do you do in Ring of Honor for a Bray Wyatt character? Yeah. Bray Wyatt is like the opposite of Ring of Honor.
I agree.
Even in his wrestling style.
I agree. Kyle threw in 100 bits, said breaking news, the former Everrise is making their AEW debut tomorrow. I believe Nick had that in the bets. Forget what that was for.
Did you? Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Did we? You bet your life. Hold on.
Oh, boy.
Everrise.
Pause. Time out, folks. Breaking news.
Impact.
Thank you, Kyle.
You said AEW.
What was the bet?
Oh, no. I said AEW.
What?
If I am right, I said AEW. You said Impact.
Oh, shit.
You said Impact. I said AEW.
Oh.
You said if they go to Impact that I have to wear one of my silly House of Rabbits masks on the show. I said, oh, Nick. Oh, no. Oh, Nick. Oh, this is one of the bad ones. If Everrise goes to AEW, Nick must do an entire episode of Busted Wide Open while wearing full makeup to be applied liberally by Esther. Oh, my. Oh, my. Oh, my. Woo, that's a spicy
honey,
one.
I got some bad news. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, that's going to be interesting.
We'll have to wait to confirm.
And are we saying appearance or under contract?
Not even under contract. They got to be there for more than a cup of coffee. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like Chelsea Green was in Ring of Honor for a cup of coffee. She's been in Impact a couple of times now. Like, we're waiting to see what happens with her.
Where they land.
Still like a free agent. Like Matt Cardona went to AEW.
Had a cup of coffee.
He's with Impact.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to see where they land, not where they kind of like dance around while they're free. Right? It's not their one night stands, it's the relationship they get into.
Right.
Okay?
Hey now.
So, but yeah. So you best hope they don't end up in AEW, son.
Kyle said Nick with, I'll do that one for you. No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. That's going to make things interesting. Thank you, Kyle, for the breaking news, man. Let's see. The Mop Man, Mr. Sean Clark, says, hello, gentlemen and phenomenal ones. I hope this message finds you happy, healthy, and in a good headspace. I don't pretend life's all sunshine and daisies. It's about being grateful for the sunshine and daisies when they do find you and holding on to them to get you through those rough times. I went tubing today. If you're not familiar, you float down a river on a tube drinking beer. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, it's the best.
It's amazing.
It's so awesome.
It requires no effort.
The only thing better than tubing is alternating tubing with rafting down like serious rapids.
Yeah.
Like serious rapids.
Not for me.
Rapids is one of my favorite things.
I've never been into like defying death in any way.
Oh, I've been down a 5+ illegally, but I still did it.
Yeah.
We didn't. It was legal because we didn't know it was a 5+. It was before it had been rated because it was a new rock fall. But anyway, neither here nor there. Yes, lovely. I love going down rivers on things.
I love scuba diving.
I love scuba diving too.
Yep, that's kind of my.
Amazing.
I'll go comfortably swim with the fishes.
That's your death-defying thing to do.
Yeah, jumping out of planes, no thanks. Going down rapids with giant boulders in the way of an inflatable boat, no thanks.
Yes.
No thanks.
Oh, it's amazing.
No thanks.
Especially if you're like in a one-person kayak. Oh, it's just you against the world.
Why?
What's the deal? It's so much fun.
Why?
That's why. It's an adrenaline rush. It's awesome. It's awesome. Knowing you can be pulled under and just tossed under there for 20 minutes.
I wake up in the morning and I get an adrenaline rush because I'm still alive and the sun came up. That's enough for me.
You're a simple man.
I'm a simple man. A good bacon double cheeseburger. That's an adrenaline rush. I don't want to go down rapids.
That's not an adrenaline rush. That's a heart attack. If you get an adrenaline rush while eating a bacon cheeseburger, shit's going to stick in your aorta and you're going to die.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I had a bacon jumbo cheeseburger
What's the
for lunch,
lowest? What's the deepest you ever been scuba diving?
I've gone down to 130, I think 138.
Oh!
Yeah.
Damn! I bow to you, sir.
Yeah, I'm
a
nitrox,
65-foot man.
I'm nitrox, night diving,
yeah.
boat and wreck. I qualified for rescue diver in the mid 2000s.
Damn. Y'all, but for y'all listening, the amount of hours he had to put in to get to that level is intense. Plus studying, taking tests. That's no joke.
Memorizing
that's
the
pretty high
Navy
level.
dive tables and
Yeah. Oh, you need to know like a whole spreadsheet.
Yep.
Like cold, because if you forget those numbers, someone dies.
every 10 feet you go down, you lose, I think it's 15 minutes of time at depth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's why you get down to,
it's-
if you're going to stay down below like 80 feet for any period of time, you're taking 2 cylinders with you. You're not, you're taking, and below, if you're going below 100, the only time I've ever gone below 120, I had a closed helmet, closed mask.
Smart. Yeah. Smart. Pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's a lot. It was a lot of fun.
so-
It's one of those things that kind of dropped off for me that I wish I had maintained a little better.
Right.
Coming out to California,
But-
nobody wants to scuba in the ice cold waters of California.
Go out to Catalina. I think you'll find some scuba. Some really good scuba on Catalina.
I'll go out in the Gulf Stream where the water's 75 degrees. And you can swim in you can dive in a skin, basically. That's it.
It gets to the high 60s out in Catalina sometimes. Anyway, we digress. We're going off on a whole scuba side. Look what you guys have done.
Scuba thing.
We're gonna sit over here and talk scuba for a while. No, we're talking about Sean Clark and tubing. Wait, what are we talking about?
You were talking about how amazing. He says, what are some of your favorite time killers or free time activities? Much love as always.
Okay, so we kind of were already there.
Yeah. I moved to LA in 2006. I haven't scuba dived since. But from 2001 through 2005 to 6, I was in the water at least once a month minimum.
Yeah.
Sometimes every weekend. So now I'm a fat, lazy guy in his 40s. Like
time killers and free time activities. Well, the last year and a half we've been locked up. My free time activities have been stuff I can do in my house.
Yeah. Which is not much different for me before the pandemic, frankly.
Oh, what?
It's movies, video games, and we'll call it extracurricular activities with my better half.
Oh my. Oh my. For me, a big hiker. Pretty much anything, any kind of like outdoorsy fun stuff, if I get the opportunity to do so, which I rarely do because I'm so busy, but like if I can, like going on a really awesome hike or going up a mountain or I haven't done it in forever, but I'd love to get back into it. Rock climbing, rappelling, going down rivers, on river rafting, skydiving.
I watched that Free Solo movie.
Spelunking.
And I almost checked myself into the ER. I just, nope. Just hard
which one?
Nope.
Oh, the rock climbing, the free. Oh no, hell no.
Yeah, just that guy that free soloed El Capitan.
Nope. Nope. I've been to El Capitan.
I've been part way
up. I've been part way up, and by part way I mean I've been 30 feet up it. Yeah. And you can kiss my ass. You think I'm going higher without ropes? You can kiss my entire ass. I love me some rock climbing. I've done some. I've walked face first down a 100-foot cliff. I have rappelled into an 80-foot deep cave with no walls. But you can kiss my ass if you think I'm going up any kind of height or distance without ropes. Not gonna do it.
No.
If I jump out of a plane, I'm strapped into a parachute. I need to have some safety.
Yep.
There's no way I'm going up. I know how you do it. I know the mechanics of climbing up that high. There's no goddamn way.
No.
There's no way.
I'm happy being fat and sitting on my ass and watching a good movie.
Oh,
that is, I am such a simple guy when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I'll have adventures for both of us.
Yes. And I would like to get back into scuba diving, but I mean, moving to Vegas isn't going to help that,
That's not going to help that at all.
Being in the middle of the desert isn't going to help. I was fortunate enough at the time before I moved to LA to be a few hours from one of the graveyard of the Atlantic, for God's sakes. So, I mean...
And the LA water's not that bad, dude. You just pee in your suit, you warm right up. It's fun.
I've done it. It's miserable. I did it one time.
It's the worst.
It's absolutely... It's disgusting.
It's the worst. It's so
It's
disgusting.
just from Santa Monica to Long Beach. It is absolutely disgusting water, full of oil and all kinds of shit.
That's who. No, you don't. No. That's why you say you go to Kelly. You don't do it on the coast here.
Yeah,
Come on. God. No.
All right.
Anyway. But thank you.
Thank you very much there, Mr. Mop Man, Mr. Sean Clark. Josh Sullivan next up says, hello, good sirs. I have an interesting lightning round for you for heavy music genres. Quick thoughts and favorite band of said type that you know of would be fantastic. This is right up our alley, Ian.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for
here we
all
go.
that you do. Can't get enough of the most positive wrestling community on the planet.
Giggity.
So I think it's only appropriate that that we light it up.
Oh, come on.
Because
I'm palpitating.
This is super serial. This is our metal, right? And we're going to get into YouTube-esque subgenre discussions.
Man.
So lightning round. Actually, you know what? This is the wrong music. We don't need that.
Thank you. Oh God, thank you.
This is what we need. Thrash metal. Give me your favorite thrash metal band.
Well, the big four obviously have to be on there: Anthrax, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer. Add Death Angel. Add Sepultura. Add
a favorite band, Ian.
A favorite band?
Yeah.
Wait.
It's a lightning round. It's not name all the thrash metal bands.
A favorite band?
A favorite thrash metal band.
Jesus. Slayer.
I mean, does Pantera count as thrash?
No, they're groove.
Groove metal. I mean, how do you not pick Slayer? Sepultura, maybe?
Slayer? Maybe some. I mean, I love me some Sepultura.
If you said Slayer, I'll say Sepultura because I love Sepultura. Next up, death metal. This is not one I'm too familiar with. This is kind of your expertise.
I mean, Sepultura, you could argue, is also death metal.
That's true.
I'm gonna take the easy way out and just say death.
I have no idea. I don't listen to a lot of. I mean, what would that be? Come on, Cradle of Filth. Are they death?
That's black.
That's black.
They're blackened death.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close enough. Power metal. This is one I'm somewhat familiar with.
Actually, I take it back. Death metal. Okay. Power metal.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Power metal's my jam.
Iron Maiden.
I mean, I guess you probably count them as prog, but like Symphony X. You can't not talk about Halloween when you're talking about power metal.
Now you're talking about power metal. Yeah, you're definitely in power metal land.
God, Dragon Force.
Okay. What you won, Nick?
Okay.
You won.
Okay. It's you don't have a conversation about power metal without Halloween. Period. Hard stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's a good one.
Deathcore.
Oh, this is a tough one.
Give me an example of what's considered deathcore.
Deathcore would be like what are the guys who did Baba Yaga?
Slaughter to Prevail.
Slaughter to Prevail, or like As Blood Runs Black, Thy Art is Murder, Chelsea Grin, Suicide Silence, Bring Me the Horizon, like those guys.
Bring Me the Horizon. That's probably the one I'm the most familiar with.
That easy, huh?
Not their new stuff. You go back to like Sempiternal. That was good stuff. 2012, something like that.
I'll say As Blood Runs Black.
All right. Grind.
Grind. That one's bolt thrower for me, easily.
I don't know that I've even heard a grind metal band.
Do you know like Cattle Decapitation, or I can't even say some of the names of some grind bands.
Is like Infant Annihilator one of them?
Yeah, Infant Annihilator is one of them. Napalm Death.
Death. Cannibal Corpse.
It's like Cannibal Corpse is death. That's straight up death metal.
All right.
Or Anal Nathrak. That's a really good one. They're kind of more death metal than grind. They're death grind.
Does it feel like
I didn't say some of the names of some of the grindcore bands that I it's kind of like the F-bombs. Like, yo, we're not a family show, but we're not a family show.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Progressive. I don't think you listen to a lot of progressive.
Opeth. Are you progressive? Mostly what I listen to.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, Dream Theater, Symphony X for me, for prog.
All
Punk. I'll get definitely a hat tip to Opeth as well, by the way.
That's a left turn. Punk?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Of all the punk bands, because I'm an old punker, man. Like, of all the punk bands ever, you need me to pick one?
Yeah, a favorite. Pick between your children.
Come on. Dude, that's just mean. You go first. I'm still like,
okay, I have no
collating.
idea. I don't listen to.
I'm collating information. Oh, come on.
Snot, maybe from the late '90s.
Snot.
They were kind of like punk metal.
No. Oh my god.
I don't know anything about punk. I was never into punk. I started
my
rock metal
the
journey
Misfits,
with
the Dead Kennedys.
I started my rock metal journey with
Black
the
Flag.
Metallica Black Album and grunge, right?
The Buzzcocks, the Descendants.
I don't know.
Nothing.
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. Nah.
The Dwarves? Anything?
Nah. Dead Kennedys I've heard of.
Oh my god.
Or is it Dead Milkmen?
Either way.
All right. Rancid, I guess you could throw in there.
Rancid? There you go.
Rancid,
now you're onto
Rancid,
something.
I'll pick Rancid.
You'll pick Rancid.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Really,
I guess the Cramps are more psychobilly than punk, although they did play CBGBs. I'm just going to be a basic bitch and say the Misfits.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And lastly, this one's open to your favorite genre and artists that you greatly enjoy. Mine's easy.
Grunge.
It's Pantera, Machine Head, and Slipknot. Like, whatever
Grunge,
they fall into,
yeah,
those are mine. I constantly go back to
like
those
groove,
three bands.
groove death.
Yeah.
You like a good groove?
Yeah. I like gallop riffs. I like a little bit of thrash. I like speed, but I also like passion.
The blast beats scare you.
Yeah, that's about where I start to tune out a little bit. They don't scare me. I was never good at playing them, and it kind of pisses me off. So.
Snot as a punk band. I'm so disappointed in you.
I just don't know punk. Admittedly, openly.
Apparently you don't. I gotta teach you a lesson. I gotta send you a playlist.
Beer I said Snot was new metal-ish.
Yes, very much so.
All right. We're getting some nods to Trivium and Lamb of God over on Facebook from Jason.
Ooh,
Those are
Lamb
good
of
choices.
God is definitely up. They're up there for deathcore.
Trivium, especially the early years.
Not Trivium for me. They had two pretty choruses. I don't need pretty choruses. Just hurt me, daddy. Where would At the Gates fall? I love At the Gates. How would they be? They're death. They're straight up death, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Always fun to have.
For all the fellow
rundown.
metal fans, there's a good list for you.
Yeah.
Go add them to your lists. Next up, Mr. Ed Kirkland says, "What's up, guys? Hope all is well." Oh dear. Oh, this one's going to require some work, Ian.
Uh-oh.
My question is for you to book a Dead versus Alive pay-per-view. Each of you fantasy book a tag team match, cruiserweight match, women's match, a hoss match, a hardcore match, and a championship main event match.
What?
The kicker is that one person has to be alive and one dead in each match. Have fun.
What's a hoss match? Like big beefy dudes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
boy.
I'm not sure I know.
Do you want to be the alive and I'll be the deads? Feel that's appropriate.
Sure. You have a better memory of that kind of stuff than me. Okay, first up, let's do the tag team match.
Okay.
For Alive, I'll go with the 11-time champion New Day.
All right, then I will pick the British Bulldogs represented by Jim Neidhart Oh, that's sorry. That's not. That's the Heart Foundation. Heart Foundation. No, let's see. No, I don't want to do that.
The Bushwhackers versus New Day. I don't know that they're still. I don't know that they've passed or that
one
they're
has
still alive.
passed. One of the Bushwhackers has passed.
I just realized that when I said that. I assumed that they were
both.
gone. This is tough.
Yeah, because most of the tag teams I can think of, one's still alive.
Right.
Damn.
Rock and Roll Express. No, they're still wrestling. Jesus
still
Christ.
alive. Dion's still alive.
God.
Dang. Nope. He's still alive.
I'm stumped.
I'm trying to think of a tag team where they're both dead. This is crazy for
we lost
business
Animal.
where
are both the Road Warriors passed?
both. Yeah, Legion of Doom. Legion of Doom's dead.
Legion of
There
Doom.
you go. Legion of Doom. Legion of Doom. Thank you. There you go.
Thank you, B-Ray.
That's epic. That's like New Day versus LOD. That's an epic match.
I would watch the shit out of that.
I would watch
any of you that are into the 2K stuff, universe building, there you go. There's one for you. This whole pay-per-view, actually, once we get done booking it here. The next up's Cruiserweight match. For Alive, it's hard not to say Ricochet because of our affinity for him.
Okay.
But yeah.
Ricochet versus Dynamite Kid.
Boom. Jesus Christ. Yes. Women's match.
Who's your living one?
I'm trying to think of who she might face and if the heel face dynamic would work or if it matters.
Doesn't matter with who I've got.
Charlotte Flair.
Luna Vachon.
Part of me almost wanted to say Asuka too, honestly. Let's see.
I think Asuka versus Luna Vachon might be even better.
Oh yeah. All right, so Asuka. I'll go with Asuka.
Oh,
there.
you know what? No. I take it back. No, go with Charlotte, and I'll say China.
Oh yes.
There you go.
Oh yes. Nice.
Charlotte versus China. Boom.
Let's see. Hoss match. All right, we got to do a Hoss match. Just Braun's an easy go-to, but nope, Keith Lee because
Keith Lee
or Otis, but
Okay.
I don't like the new Otis as much, so I'm gonna go Keith Lee.
Keith Lee. I think it's better for who I've got anyway. John Tenta.
Ooh, damn! This is gonna end up being a badass pay-per-view. Hardcore match.
I've watched the shit out of this. Oh come on! Come on! I already know who I'm picking. That's easy. Easy. You just got to pick a living hardcore person.
I don't know if Raven passed away or not.
Raven's alive.
I'm picking Raven.
Oh, well, that's not as exciting. I was going to do New Jack. We've seen that.
That's true. How about Nick Gage versus New Jack?
Yeah. Nick Gage
and they
versus
both try
New
to
Jack.
cut each other's foreheads open.
That's someone definitely going to die match.
Yeah. Nick Gage versus New Jack. That's a good
I'm pretty
one.
sure they've actually done that match.
Wouldn't be surprised. And finally here we have the championship match for the main event.
Who's your champion?
Some may like this, some may not. Drew McIntyre.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Wow. Damn, that'd be a good match. There you go, Ed.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
I'd watch the shit out of that entire pay-per-view multiple times. Why don't we book stuff like that? Killer B. Rye threw in 100 bits, said New Jack versus Nick Gage for heart. Yeah. Get out of my head, Brian.
Get out of our heads. Get out of our heads. Someone definitely going to die.
I hear you. Thank you, Ed. Next up, the acknowledged booby chief, Mr. Martin Welch. Good day, gents. I'm writing this to help with the help of my little man, James. He says to ask, what's your favorite cartoon?
Ooh.
Before I continue, do you want to name your favorite cartoon? Is it going to be some fringe anime that nobody's ever seen?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Are we talking about favorite animated show or favorite animated movie or favorite, like, Saturday morning cartoon? Like, narrow it down. I watch a lot of animated shit.
Yeah.
You got to narrow it down, son. My favorite one as a kid. We kind of went over that last week.
I was definitely G.I. Joe as a kid. Right now, I'm working through the new War for Cybertron show that's on Netflix. And it's beautiful. It's some of the most beautiful art I've seen in a long time, especially in 4K. It looks amazing.
Favorite cartoon. I mean, favorite animated movie? Favorite TV cartoon? What are we going to put this as, Nick? We're going to say he means favorite, like, kids cartoon on TV?
Why don't you give one from your childhood and one for your current? Like I did.
Okay.
JB's already booking me to be in makeup on Friday.
Yeah, we got to make sure that they're sticking around first.
Hang on
JB.
now.
we got to be sure. We got to be sure. If we're going to do this to him, we get, don't shoot a man unless you're certain.
Yeah.
As they say. Yeah, I think that was that Unforgiven.
I don't remember.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. As a kid, favorite cartoon.
Shoot somebody, make certain of it.
Exactly. Right? See, you know what I'm talking about. Oh God, as a kid, I mean, I loved the shit out of Transformers.
Yeah.
As a kid. I was like, as a kid. Yeah, I'll say Transformers as a kid because I watched but that and Robotech. I mean, transforming giant robots.
There it is.
As an adult, favorite cartoon?
You guys remember DVDs before we had Blu-rays?
I remember VHS.
This is one of my favorite sets.
Oh, good Lord.
Yep. I love this thing.
I'll say Dragon Ball just because I've got like a bunch of those too. So I'll just say Dragon Ball because it's the easy way out. What about you?
I said G.I. Joe and the new Transformers War for Cybertron. If you haven't seen that yet, check it out. They're on like season 3, I think now. I'm just started I'm like 4 episodes into season 1 and I'm hooked. It's dope. He says, all is good in my neck of the UK. I have 2 weeks of annual leave and I'm visiting family in the Midlands this week. On Saturday, I am getting tattooed.
Nice. What do you that's it? Just tattooed? What are we getting? Where? There's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, so many questions.
I'm getting a facial tattoo.
Yeah. Please don't tattoo your neck. Please don't put like the family crest on your neck or anything.
Right. Right.
My question is, can you recast Beetlejuice?
No, it's perfectly cast.
No, do not reboot Beetlejuice. Do not touch it. Never change anything. It is a perfect film. It's
a perfect film. You can't recast Beetlejuice. It's not
there
possible.
are not many films that you will hear myself or Surrey and Dangerous say that about. It is a perfect film. Leave it alone.
Okay, but what about wrestlers?
If we were doing it as wrestlers for a laugh, okay, let's start with Beetlejuice, the Michael Keaton character.
Bray Wyatt,
easily. That's perfect. The Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis characters who play the ghosts.
Who are the most vanilla people in wrestling right now?
Roderick Strong.
No, he has to have some personality. I was going to say, how about Trent Beretta for Alec Baldwin? Right?
Or Chucky T. Interchangeable.
Now, I would say Trent because he's got to be like, there's like a little bit of masculinity to him, but he's also, he can be really like kind of soft and sweet too, you know?
But he
Good
wears
mama's
khakis
boy.
with a button down and tucks it in. You know, it's
Exactly.
there's kind of a nerdy oafishness to it.
Trent can play that part.
Yeah, I agree.
Chucky's just too dorky. Although Chucky, I guess Chucky can work. And then Gina Davis. I don't know. They keep
Britt
taking
Baker.
all the Gina Davis. No, she's way too mean spirited. She'd be like the family that moves in. She'd be like the redheaded mom that moves in.
Dina D, whatever her name is, I can't remember.
Yeah,
Delia.
Yeah, Delia Dietz.
Delia.
She'd be Delia Dietz. Britt Baker for Delia Dietz.
And then
right there.
What was his name? Otho.
Otho.
Yeah.
Miro should play Otho.
I was gonna say Otis, but not in his current state.
Miro needs to play Otho.
Yeah, just
I
in
need
his
Miro
Arnold
in
Schwarzenegger accent as well.
In his Arnold Schwarzenegger accent, but still swishy in the same way.
The wedding clothes out.
I was going for more of a mauve. I was thinking mauve would be great in this room. It's beautiful in here.
Who's the David? What's his name?
Look at this, Ozzy and Harriet.
The principal from Ferris Bueller who played the dad. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the pedophile.
Yes, that guy. We should probably just skip him.
Let's just skip him.
Who else? Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder. Shotzi Blackheart.
Nice.
No, Shotzi's too happy. We need someone who's a little bit more dark.
Darby Allin could play it.
In drag.
Darby Allin in drag. Darby Allin for the Winona Ryder character. Yes.
I am utterly alone. If you read this, it'll be too late as I have thrown myself off the bridge. Be amazing.
Oh, God. Do we need to cast the Sandworms? They played a pretty integral part in the film.
Yeah, I suppose they did. Sandworms can be they can be Cody Rhodes. They just all have like bleach blonde hair and neck tattoos.
Perfection.
Yeah.
Absolute perfection.
Come in and save everyone at the end.
I love it. Yeah. Thank you very much, Martin. He says, as always, I wish you all peace, love, and fried chicken. Soon to be three-time Booby EST chief out. P.S. Ooh. Suck it, Jessup.
Oh! Oh, yo, it's
getting testy. We're gonna have more than one. Not only are we having the grand BWO Pick'ems Championship defended at SummerSlam and TakeOver 36, not only are we having each of the pay-per-views defended, we are also in contention for what might be the sleeper of the show. What is the contention that's going on for the Booby Prize at the bottom of the card, folks? Don't sleep on that match. Yo,
they're blowing us up in chat right now. Kyle had a great idea with Ruby Soho as Winona Ryder. That's pretty accurate.
That's pretty good.
And then JB is exploding up our chat, screaming at us that the Sandworm must be played by Baron Corbin.
Oh, genius.
That's pretty goddamn good.
That's pretty genius.
They're both bald. They look very similar.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, the thing that Beetlejuice transforms into from the stair railing where he turns into kind of the snake, that kind of looks like Baron Corbin right now.
He's got better hair.
A little spiky hair going on.
He's got better hair in that form. Kyle is also saying Rhea as Winona Ryder. If you ignore size, I can't ignore size. Rhea is huge. Yeah. Winona Ryder is 5 foot and 98 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
That would be a hilarious juxtaposition.
Yeah.
Having Rhea Ripley like bumbling around and like knocking things over in her role. That'd be incredible. Like her standing next to
we have one more we
Bray
have to cast,
Wyatt,
by the way.
towering over Bray Wyatt when they're trying to get married. Yes, I love this man of mine. Who else?
Sylvia Sidney. She played Juno.
The caseworker.
The caseworker. In the afterlife.
The split neck.
Yes.
Right.
The chain smoking one.
How the hell should I know? Right. Yes.
Yes.
Would you all shut up?
Your coach lived.
Right. Do we have anybody in wrestling that could do that?
Oof. Working right now? I mean, Mae Young, but she's not alive anymore, which might actually make her better for the part.
That's true. That's true.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Just you know what? Just Weekend at Bernie Mae Young. Just get like some like twine and just like puppet her around.
Yeah, just put sticks through her sleeves. You know. Thank you very much, Martin. Enjoy your new tribal decoration.
Cheers, sir.
Next up, Jay Reyes over in the chat on YouTube. What's up, man? Says,
up,
well,
Jay?
as someone who is a fan of Slipknot, I would like to say rest in peace, Joey Jordison, one of the best drummers ever.
Damn
Agreed.
good drummer.
Iowa is still one of my top favorite albums. Iowa, like we said about Beetlejuice being perfect, I am of the belief that Iowa is a perfect album.
Yep. Best
it
Slipknot
really
album.
is. If you listen to it cover to, it's easy to pick out a song, especially in the world of Spotify that we live in now. But go listen to that album cover to cover.
Whole album. Yeah, which is what we used to do, Nick.
God,
that's an angry album.
I've done that recently, and I'll just put the whole album on loop, and I look up and 4 hours have gone by, and just holy smoke, it is a perfect album, and it's a shame that it was made in the conditions that all of the guys were in. But man, they were in another place making that album. Also, I'm sure, excuse me, I'm sure you guys remembered it later, but the DJ in Slipknot, his name was Sid Wilson, aka Starscream. Okay,
that's
now
Pinhead,
my
right?
Voltron.
Guy?
Say again.
That's the Pinhead guy.
No, the one that's got the big eye gas mask looking.
Oh, the gas mask
Sid.
one. That's right. That's right.
Okay, now my Voltron of people I wouldn't think WWE would be dumb enough to get rid of is almost complete. EC3, Andrade Cien Almas, Aleister Black, Mickie James, now Bray Wyatt. Once Adam Cole's contract expires, Voltron will be formed. I almost forgot about Buddy Murphy and Daniel Bryan. Okay, getting rid of talent with high rates in pay to save money is one thing that I completely do not agree with, but it is what it is.
It's business.
It's business.
Yeah.
We can't take it personally. But they're cutting people that are proven draws and top merch sellers. They're throwing away money, and Vince used to be a brilliant businessman. Now he is just an old senile fart that is having an industry. I don't know what that was supposed to be. And the world passed by. Oh, he's having the industry and the world pass him by. Nick, your theory and probably the 100% correct assumption is that Nick Khan is the president, will probably be the person in charge as well with the board of directors. Do you guys see the company is getting back to being great again? How do you see the move going? Well, I guess we're going to hypothetically play out what it would look like if and when Nick Khan takes over. What might we be able to speculate and expect for future plans? Will Lenny McMahon ever have the reins again, including Triple H? He has a vision that works, but it is yet to see real change because NXT is the afterthought. It doesn't have to operate in the red, but Vince won't allow it to grow again in the way that it did. We've had this conversation on Steven Larson's show when we were guests there. We've had this conversation about Triple H taking over a bunch of times. Like I'm of the mind that the corporation does one thing from a business to business standpoint, and then the production of the TV show and content that we watch is someone else. Right now, I mean, just recently Nick Khan has taken over, but of that president of the business stuff. But Vince is still very much wearing the headset and calling the shots in creative. I do see a world where Vince does eventually pass on, and someone like a Triple H or Kevin Dunn or somebody who is seasoned, even Bruce, could step in, put the headset on, and call the show, and kind of pseudo direct the show.
Triple H
from
though
Gorilla.
But Triple H is married to Stephanie McMahon. If you've ever heard her talk recently, like she is definitely all up on this business. We're here making content. We're not making stories, right? Like she doesn't give a crap about the product. She's there to make money. And Nick Khan, I think, is a symptom of something that's growing in that company, which is we're doing these big deals. We got to think like a business, and we have Nick Khan coming in here and just getting out the bloody pen and scratching stuff all over the place. Now, obviously, we don't know if that was the case with Bray Wyatt. It's highly suspected that was the case with people like Braun Strowman. Buddy Murphy, stuff like that. People who they were like, why are we paying these people so much when they're not doing anything on TV? And Nick Khan's not watching the TV show that we know of. Maybe he is, and he's saying, this guy's not doing anything. I don't like what they're doing with him. It's more likely that he's looking at just straight numbers and saying, this person's getting paid this much and has been on TV by, this many hours. So, and while this is all speculation, because none of us are in the boardrooms of WWE, that's what it appears to be based on the corporate movements and also what we're hearing from behind these closed doors in terms of Nick Khan having more of Vince's ear, Nick Khan making these decisions, and that not really being Vince's style. We can also look back over the years at what Vince's style is, and unless the guy has like drastically changed in the last 5 years, it does seem to be a bit of a different way of handling contract situations and talent. Obviously, WWE's never been shy about letting people go, but usually you can either find some kind of reason that isn't just numbers based, right? It's quite possible that Bray Wyatt was released because he was very expensive and he was also, quote, difficult to work with. It could have just been a numbers thing, as they told him. But the thing that Jay is saying here is Vince used to be brilliant as a businessman. Now he's not. And Nick, I don't know about you, but I disagree with that. I don't think that Vince is no longer a brilliant businessman. What Vince was, the thing that he was really good as was a promoter.
Yep.
He was a brilliant promoter. He was never a great businessman. He would make a lot of big leaps. He would make a lot of gambles, and sometimes they would work, and sometimes they would work really well. And in fact, like, the guy wouldn't be where he is right now if he didn't make some really ballsy business moves.
Right.
He's also made some extremely boneheaded business moves. So saying that Vince used to be brilliant and now he's not, I disagree with that.
Yeah.
He used to be a brilliant promoter, but he was never a good story writer, and he was never a great businessman. He was just a very, very ballsy, opportunistic businessman. And I feel like he still is. He's surrounded himself with people that are a lot better at business, but unfortunately some of them are also a lot more cutthroat and don't understand the business that he's in terms of translating talent to the screen. And
how that translates into revenue generation, merch sales,
correct.
Pay-per-view buys, all that stuff.
Yeah, because the creative cycle in WWE is so broken, making that cycle then turn into revenue, that whole that cog being bent is messing everything else up. And Nick, we talked a couple of times about how it's very apparent in WWE to the layperson that the right hand often in WWE doesn't seem to know what the left hand is doing. There's a severe lack of corporate communication and synergy going on within this company, where they're doing, like, one part of the company is doing something and the other part of the company has no idea that's going on.
Yeah.
Right. Messing up contracts, people being let go and other people still writing for them even after they've gone and not knowing that they're gone. Slapjack being transferred to SmackDown and no one told him. He had to be told by writers who suddenly had him show up on their sheets as someone they were writing for. Right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a severe disorganization problem in WWE, and I don't think that necessarily comes down to Nick or Vince or anything being a good businessman. That's being a good company runner, right? And creating corporate structure.
I doubt that Nick Khan has long-lasting relationships and understandings of the characters and context of every single member of the locker room in WWE. What normally happens in big corporations like this is third-party auditors are brought in, such as a PricewaterhouseCoopers, an Ernst & Young, something like that, and they come in, to evaluate personnel, or what they're paid, how much vacation and sick time they have, all of the metrics of personnel, and they deliver a report to the C-suite that says, exactly, here's the top. You need to, and they're given a goal of cutting out X number of money off the top line, and it's just hard numbers. It's pure numbers. Who is losing you the most money, and relative to You'll hear it referred to in tech as a RIF or a reduction in force, layoffs. Like, all the big tech companies do them usually once a year, twice, every couple years. it happens. It's a natural part of doing business. I think that's what went on here. That's my hunch, is that Nick Khan in his new position has been able to go out and hire an outside firm to come in and do an analysis on the entire company. And they've gone over like whose contracts are way out of whack. Braun Strowman, possibly Bray Wyatt.
Sure.
Right? Who is selling merch but the least amount of merch that's getting paid the most? That kind of thing.
Aleister Black or something like that, right?
Mickey James. Right? If you think about people that are doing that kind of stuff, this is all just spreadsheets. And I don't think
that's
that there's
suspicion, yeah.
I don't think that there's any malice or any ill intent from these releases. I know the Twitterverse likes to just light everything on fire and make a big deal out of it, but I think that's really what it comes down to.
Well,
it's just personnel decisions in a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
But I think that I think the truth lies actually somewhere maybe in between.
Yeah.
There might be some, kind of putting your hand on the scale. This person's losing us a bit of money, but they're also being annoying creatively and they're being kind of a pain in the ass. So it would, it's going to make things run smoother if we cut this person. If Nick Khan is saying we have to cut this much in salary and budget and whatnot, so we need to cut this many people, there's going to be someone that comes along and is like, well, that person's kind of a pain in the ass to work with, even if they're not, like, or we're doing so much with them. There's this whole program. We just spent this much money on Aleister Black. He's never drawn a dime. All right, we'll get rid of him. Right? So there may be a little bit of that in there. WWE's always been a petty company. Do we think things will change when someone else takes over? I personally do not.
No.
I think that the corporate structure
still going to be the circus.
Created. It's still going to be the corporate structure. Will creative possibly change a little bit? It depends on who they have come over and take over creative. But Vince is going to be in that chair for so long. I can't see him giving up the reins anytime soon. And if he does, who knows if it's going to be? Who knows who it's going to be?
Let me put.
I don't know if he has confidence.
Let me put it another way, from a business standpoint.
Yep.
Did you hear what the ratings were on AEW Dynamite last week?
They topped off at 1.41.
Yeah.
In the middle of the 10-man tag match.
Do you know what the ratings were for Raw last night?
I have not seen the numbers yet. 1.89.
1.8.
Yeah.
They're coming. And so I'm sure WWE sees that. I think moving NXT to Tuesday nights did them a disservice because they were at least stealing some eyes from their. It's going to backfire on them. They're now coming in right after SmackDown on Friday nights next week. AEW's coming, guys, and they can see that. They live and die by ratings and ads with these big contracts with USA and with Fox. So you have to think, you can't romanticize the relationship with the talent without being realistic about the business.
I love. We didn't really talk about the quarterly business call that Vince just had. Vince and Nick Khan had recently, which was some interesting stuff in there, and obviously people blew up at Vince, intimating that he might be giving away talent to AEW to try to bleed them, which I think was a misinterpretation of what was an offhand comment. It sounded to me more like he was just kind of like saying something offhand, and it wasn't like a shot. But anyway, that's just my interpretation. But one of the things that that came out of that was that Vince didn't feel like AEW was competition. And I love the Young Bucks poking the Twitterverse by changing their bio to not competition.
Right.
Like if you're not trying to be competitive, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it definitely does feel from a business standpoint like NXT blinked.
Yep.
So there you go. That's a lot said about that there,
There's
Jay.
a lot more going on than Bray Wyatt and Ric Flair leaving WWE.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to think about.
It's a reason why we're asked about it a lot, Nick, is it's a huge topic and we can talk about it 15 different ways.
Yeah.
But ultimately what it comes down to is, we'll see how much longer Vince is in the chair. It definitely feels like it's going more towards a business, hard, cold numbers, as you said, running spreadsheets, kind of way of running. And if that helps them or not, we shall see.
Yep. Thank you very much, Jay. Next up, Brandon. Brandon Mullet King Monroe says, "Hey, great ones. Moment of silence for the last mullet standing tournament as I did not receive enough entrants."
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a lot of mullets out there right now. I think you have scared everybody off. Because nobody's going to compete with your mullet, Brandon.
He's got that slow-mo on there, and everyone's like, well.
I'm out.
Undisputed.
My question is, if Brody hadn't had his untimely passing, how would he have factored into this current story of Dark Order? Goodbye and good night. Bang. Thank you,
That's
Brandon.
an interesting question, because I don't think this current Dark Order story would have happened had he lived, because Dark Order went face because he passed away.
Right. It was almost it was inevitable that they were going to turn face.
Yeah.
You can't have his son coming out as -1 and getting the TNT title handed to him from Cody on bended knee, and basically knighting him with the title.
They're the most over face faction in AEW right now, and it's partly because of what they became after he passed away, and all the sympathy that they garnered, and they kind of became the lovable losers, as opposed to this motley crew of angry losers being motivated by this kind of winking Vince McMahon satire. I honestly think you wouldn't have had Hardy front office, and instead maybe Hardy would have started a faction that was helping Hangman if they went in the same direction. You know what I mean? Like Dark Order would not be involved in this; they'd still be heels probably. So, because Brody wasn't in any way going to become a face anytime soon, the way he was going.
I have to. So one more time.
Shut the fuck up, Silver.
Rest in peace, Brody.
It used to make me laugh. Now it just makes me sad.
Yep. So. Thank you very much,
there
Brandon.
You go.
Next up, one of our newest patrons, Chris Jenkins. Thank you, sir. Says, good evening, gents. You may have covered this before, but I'll ask anyways. I was watching the opening segment of this week's Raw, and it occurred to me that currently at the top of the WWE card, Roman, Edge, Lashley, and Goldberg all use the spear as a finishing move.
Yep. So many spears. Hate that move.
I grant you that Goldberg and Edge have been using it for decades, but Lashley started using it around 2005, and Roman was using it when he started his career. I understand that Goldberg, Lashley, and Edge were using the spear at the pinnacle of their respective careers in separate companies when no one else was using it, and that when Roman came up, no one important was using it at that time. Now, it must be said that I have great respect for all these wrestlers because they put in the work, and the spear has become their calling card. Special shout out, respectful nod, tip of the hat to my boy Rhino.
Thank you. Took the words out of my mouth.
Gore!
Yep.
My question is...
Still one of the best.
Yeah,
Still one of the best.
Absolutely.
God.
Because he just throws his head straight into it. He doesn't go off to the side or
anything. And he was also doing it in an era of Goldberg where if you didn't do the spear convincingly, what are you doing?
Right. He and Goldberg still go in head first. I think Edge, Roman...
because they're
Lashley
football
all
guys.
go inside, off to the side.
They're football guys.
Yeah.
At least Roman's also a football guy, so his spear is pretty decent. Edge's spear has always, hot take, Edge's spear has always been garbage. It looks like he's like tackling them to snuggle them.
It looks more like a lariat to the stomach.
Yeah, and he's a tall, skinny guy, so that's if I'm gonna have a dude throw a spear, it needs to look like a football tackle, and that guy's got to have some beef on it.
You better look like a defensive end, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Like anytime that Gargano or Cole or any of those little guys in NXT use spears, I always just kind of go, bah!
His question is, does the presence of so many spears at the top of WWE's card highlight a lack of booking, creativity, and innovation that we all know exists, or is WWE just a victim of circumstance? In reality, I believe WWE's tagline could be then, now, forever, missed opportunities. Because there are so many dynamic and impactful moves that could be created, upgraded, or tweaked to make others seem that much different and unique. Over the years, these wrestlers may have pitched using other moves and were given permission to use said pitched move occasionally, but in the end, Vince decided to keep the spear on them. I'm wondering if Vince just loves the spear that much. Thanks, guys. Side note, this week Jericho has only one acceptable finish to his third labor match, a heartfelt and emotional top rope Eddie Guerrero frog splash homage.
If Jericho can still do a halfway decent frog splash, I'll be shocked.
I don't know if he's got the up
Jericho
thing,
never had a good frog splash.
No. I mean, he can do a lion salt. If you can do a lion salt, you can do a frog splash.
That is 100% incorrect, sir. There's one thing to do a springboard backflip. It's another thing to get up on the top rope and do a tuck while you're coming down.
All right. I think it'd be easier for me to do a frog splash than a back handspring or back springboard off the second rope.
I'm not saying which one is easier to do. I'm just saying that it's apples and oranges.
All right.
Just because you can do one move doesn't mean you can do the other move. That's all I'm saying.
So the question is, does Vince just love the spear that much?
You know what? We've talked about this before. I don't know, and I don't get it. The spear is such a basic move. I understand it's a great move for a big crowd reaction, right?
It's one syllable. It's easy to call on. Spear!
Spear!
Instead
Sounds
of Superman
badass.
punch,
Looks badass when done right by someone like Lashley or Goldberg or someone with a lot of beef to him.
Yeah.
Reigns has had good ones. He's had bad ones. The best one is still when he speared Miro, Rusev at the time on the ramp. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, that's Roman's best spear. Rusev actually jumped into it. So he jumped straight up and Roman just took him. It looked unbelievably brutal. It was awesome. But why so many spears? That's a fantastic question.
Love it. Thank you,
It's
Chris.
a fantastic question. I have no freaking idea.
We could speculate, but we don't know.
No idea why there's so many damn spears.
If we ever get Vince McMahon here on the show for an interview, that's one of the things we can ask him.
What's up with the spear, dude?
Yeah.
I'd be happy to ask him that because, for example, when Goldberg used to do it back in the day, it looked like a damn finishing move. He would spear dudes out of their careers in some cases, legitimately. Rhino's gore looked like he was cutting a guy in half.
Yeah.
And I've always said I hate the spear because most guys can't do it like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you can't do it like that, I need to believe that a guy's getting hit so hard that his breath is knocked out of his body to the point where he can't force a shoulder up when you're pinning him. And usually in these matches, it looks like he's knocked the hell out.
Yeah.
If you can't make it look like that, you shouldn't be doing it. And that's any finishing move. If a finishing move doesn't look like it's finishing the other person, you shouldn't be doing it. So I personally, I'm not a fan of the spear, and I'm not a fan of it being used all over the place. Edge has gotten better at his spear over the years. I think his spear looks pretty good these days. He's been doing it recently, and I've been like, all right, that's a pretty good spear.
Let's not sleep on Charlotte Flair doing them either.
I've yet to see one of hers that really blew me away.
Sure.
I mean, Charlotte, everything she does is pretty good, but her big boot is way better.
I've always liked her blockbuster or natural selection as one of her, and obviously as the 1-2 punch, the natural selection into the figure eight is,
so many people cannot do the goddamn natural. They can't take it properly. That's why she doesn't do it as much. So many people can't take it. But no, to answer your question here, or try to, should there be as many spears? No, I agree. The having more unique finishing moves is way cooler, right? It's always cooler to have someone's got a different finishing move. And if they have the same finishing move, there should be a story behind why they have the same finishing move. That's in my opinion. Obviously, you don't have to do that. That's just it makes it cooler.
I like people that have cool wrestling finishing moves. Whether it's a really innovative submission or whether it's, a one punch or a one spear kind of thing is kind of kludgy.
Well, but you know what, Nick, there's an argument for that. And that's why I'm saying my suspicion why there's so many spears is because it is such a short, sharp shock move. It can come out of nowhere, right? The best finishing moves, the ones that pop the crowd the most are the ones that come out of nowhere. RKO, stunner, spear. Right? Those pop people.
Yeah.
If it's not those, then you have to have ones that have a big buildup, right? Tombstone pile driver, the sweet chin music, ones where the audience gets involved. The Claymore they've made into one of those, right?
Yeah.
Where it can come out of nowhere, or he can take his time. Because the Claymore is basically just a spear, except he's lying on his back instead of on his stomach.
It's a flying big boot.
It's a flying big boot. Same idea though. Right? Fast, impactful moves, sudden, sharp shock.
I don't know that Vince has anything to do with whether or not a wrestler uses a spear as their finishing move. I mean, I don't want to put it all on Vince, but I also look at this as, I agree with you, it's about popping the crowd and making it a believable enough thing to put somebody down. for the 3 count. I feel like there's other things we could do. We could talk about the repetitiveness of roll-ups. We could talk chokes, all kinds of stuff that just everybody seems to have one of those things. Cross faces, Yeah.
Yeah, if we're going to talk about repetitive stuff, can we get some submissions that actually submit people as opposed to them just crawling for the ropes every single time?
Right.
Why have a submission move if it's not going to submit people? That's all.
I miss the triangle. I love the what's Lesnar's? It's like a Kimura lock. Is it the Kimura lock?
Yeah, it's Kimura. Yeah.
I mean, breaking dudes' arms in UFC with that thing, and he's using it in WWE. That's a submission. You insta-tap in UFC if he gets you in that thing.
And
or he's ripping your arm off your shoulder.
And I think we're driving this in the ground, but that's a really good point. Is that I'd love to there has been more, ever since Ken Shamrock, more crossover of, because remember there didn't used to be a tap out in WWE. You just verbally submit.
Right.
Tap outs came with Ken Shamrock, and a lot of that MMA influence came when they started getting people from real MMA and more mainstream recognition of MMA. People started realizing, oh wait, some of these wrestling holds are bullshit. Because you see those in MMA, people are tapping out. They're like, why are they tapping out in those? Because if you don't, you lose an arm.
Yeah.
And you're injured and you can't fight anymore.
Right.
That's why. And they don't do that in wrestling. But then again, wrestling, you have people taking these big haymakers and just kind of standing there and taking it. So it's obviously not supposed to be totally realistic. But yeah, I definitely would like to see more realistic than they are now submission moves. Yeah. And I think they've gotten better.
Yeah.
So.
Chris, thanks for the awesome question, man, and looking forward to working with you on your special upcoming segment. Be in touch on that. Let's see. Next up, Billy Stickler says, "Gentlemen, in an alternate reality, I'm giving an unlimited budget and carte blanche. Pick a horror franchise and do as you wish. Could be anything, and again, you can do whatever you wanted. Full theatrical release, any rating. What franchise do you pick? How many movies do you do? And what is the story you want to tell in this reinvention of the franchise? Keep awesome, and thanks for all you do." Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. So many options. God, how do I pick just one? I got a couple of scripts for originals, but none for existing franchises. Although if someone was like carte blanche, any franchise, you can do a movie, I would have to start with Hellraiser. Because goddamn, nobody can do a good goddamn Hellraiser movie because they just, for whatever reason, whether it's budget or script or studio messing with them or whatever, people just cannot, ever since the first 1.5, they just have not done a good Hellraiser movie. I hated the last third of Hellraiser 2, which just goes to hell and it just gets goony.
Yeah.
They didn't have the special effects to pull off hell. I'd love to I just want to make a goddamn good Hellraiser movie. They go back to just being they don't have any kind of moral basis to them. Like later on, Pinhead became all religious and shit, and it's just, that's not who he is.
I don't know that I've even seen those later Hellraiser movies.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I've seen them all. Man, you talk about a franchise that's go, boo. There's some with some good moments, but whoa. Just people not misunderstanding. It's kind of like watching some of the like Halloween 4 and 5, or the later Friday the 13th movies like Jason Goes to Hell, where you're like, you just don't understand what makes this franchise cool. Yeah. You don't understand what people came here for. You don't understand what about this character is awesome.
Show me some people drinking in a camp. Maybe some boobs. It's a horror movie. Right?
You're a simple man.
Right. And show me a giant monster with a spear just skewering all of them. It's not hard. I don't need some crazy. I don't need him to go to hell.
Or
here's space,
the thing.
For that matter. Jason goes to space.
Jason went to space. Even though he went to space, they had to have a hologram room where he went back to a camp and killed people in a camp.
Of course.
It was just like, then why put it in space?
I'm a man of simple pleasures.
Right.
Just skewer teenagers, maybe show me some boobs, and jump scare me a little bit.
So Freddy versus Jason.
I love Freddy versus Jason.
It's because it's the greatest distillation of those two characters since their initial movies. And even
and
Jason,
it's kind of
don't
fan
forget,
service
Jason
as well for fans of the franchise.
Jason wasn't really Jason except for like part of 3 and then 4, 5, and 6, and then it just went downhill from there.
Yeah.
And even I mean, it got silly by the time we got to 6.
Yeah.
But Jason doesn't really interest me that much. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's basic. It's super basic. I want to take Hellraiser back to the roots, where it's not really a story about the Cenobites. It's a story about some effed up family or some effed up situation, and the Cenobites get involved, but they're more kind of like they're the lubrication for the story as opposed to the actual meat, if you will. And that's one thing I think a lot of them have been missing is that kind of Lovecraftian feel of the Cenobites, where we can't really comprehend them. So I could go off about the Hellraiser universe and everything, and Clive Barker and all that, but if he's asking one, I would say Hellraiser. Please, sir.
It's easy to highlight Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and other classics like Hellraiser. I think there's one that a lot of people have overlooked. And a lot of people, unless they're hardcore horror fans, probably have not seen this series of films. But I think the idea...
Leslie Vernon.
No. I think the idea of a crazy mortician...
Tremors. Oh.
That is somehow reanimating the corpses of the dead.
And turning them into dwarves.
Turning them into like these weird zombie things.
But they're dwarves because the gravity's so high.
And there's a flying ball with spikes going around. I want to work on the Phantasm series.
How many of those have you seen, by the way?
The one I'm most familiar with is the first one. The other ones, I may have seen them, but I don't remember much about them.
That, dude, you need to go back and watch the whole, because that series gets bizarre.
Yeah, I know there's at least 4 of them, right?
There's like 8.
Oh, wow.
You thought Puppet Master series got weird? Phantasm is one of the most nuts franchises you'll ever see. I'd say that's one of the best, most consistent ones, just because it's consistently insane. Yeah. And it turns more into like an action series. It's just nuts. It's crazy. But who do you cast as Angus Scrim?
Is it a wrestler or just unlimited budget?
I'm just whatever, either.
Christopher Lloyd.
Out. You put him in like stilts or something?
I don't know. Undertaker. Brian said Undertaker, yes.
I mean, come on. It writes itself. He's the right age.
Yeah.
He's got the voice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Boy.
Yeah, boy. The tall man, Angus Scrim. Yeah. I would do the Phantasm series. Unlimited budget, unlimited whatever. Yeah. I want to love Phantasm. It's got like mortuary stuff. It's got zombies in it. It's got cool effects, practical effects. It's got some interdimensional. It's ripe with all of the stuff.
People getting drilled in the forehead, blood everywhere.
With just that sphere, just.
Yep. The Turok 2 weapon. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would do Phantasm.
Cerebral bore.
Brian's throwing 100 bits at Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors with a large budget. I would still have Patricia Arquette walking around in a muumuu and socks.
Well, yeah. I mean, that movie's pretty good. The practical effects in that are still pretty damn good.
Yeah. Digital
effects a little questionable, but it's still pretty good, man. Go back and watch some of the other Nightmares. Like 3 still holds up.
Yep.
3 that's not a necessary remake. That's still a pretty good one.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. Was that Brian that asked that one? No, that was Billy. Billy Stickler.
No,
Thank you, Billy.
Billy.
Next up, McGator Guy, Mr. Derek McCrae. Thank you, sir. Says, good evening, gents and fellow phenomenal ones. First things first, Dubstep Rob. That belt is sick. Oh, if you guys haven't seen it yet, Dubstep Rob, our current BWO Grand Patron Pick'ems champion.
Yes.
Winner of all the marbles at our 4-night event. 2 nights of NXT and 2 nights of WrestleMania. He won the whole thing a few months ago. We'll be defending it at SummerSlam because we are also having a takeover event on the same weekend. He did get a belt made, I assume for himself. We didn't do that, just to be clear. But I mean, and apparently he's going to pass it over to whoever wins if he doesn't retain.
That's rad.
So
that is rad.
That is amazing. It looks fantastic. Our faces are the plates, which I think is hilarious.
Brilliant.
But really good job. He says, thanks for bringing steaks to the pick'ems, even though I'm still going for the booby prize. People aspiring for the booby prize.
People going we knew it was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen at some point.
Yeah. The original booby prize was a pair of socks that I wore during WrestleMania. I don't even remember who got those.
There's been some good booby prizes over the years.
Yeah.
But that being said, hey man, honestly, it's like we always say, it's as hard to get the booby prize as it is to get the grand championship.
Yep.
So, knock yourselves out.
I'm going to enjoy watching the bloodshed, he says. Now to my question statement this week. I don't know if you've talked about this or not, but follow me for a second, and hopefully this won't take long. So Bray got released, and apparently in his last promos, he kind of hinted at a possible departure. In his last moments in WWE, he took Alexa under his wing and basically gave her his gimmick that I'm sure he totally believed in and felt it would work, so that it could live on in his absence. Now, I understand Alexa was kind of floundering around prior to joining The Fiend, having Alexa's Playhouse, so she needed a place to land. That's fine, but now it seems to me she's in the same place Bray was in prior to him being, in essence, written off TV and banished to the Firefly Funhouse for all eternity. Is Alexa set to be doomed to the same fate? Could she have been given this gimmick to force her into trying to make it work since Bray wasn't coming back and now she and WWE are in over their heads? Is there any way to break Alexa out of this character and allow herself to be rebuilt? So many more questions, but not enough time to ask. Just want to know what you guys think. Thanks to you and the entire BWO universe for all you do. You guys make it fun to be a wrestling fan. Everybody stay safe. Remember, kindness is free, so don't be a dick. Now, can you dick that, sucker? Thank you very much, McGator guy. Lots of good, just kind of pontification there. I love it. Lots to think about.
I don't know if it's speculation to say he took Alexa under his wing and gave her the gimmick. It seemed more like WWE, just Vince loves Alexa, and it may have started off as, wouldn't it be like it works in storyline if she is kind of brought into Bray's world. It worked with her relationship with Braun. Like, everything just seemed to click.
It all started really with the swamp match a year ago.
Right, and it just all seemed to click with her pre-existing relationship with Braun and storyline, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But as far as like what ended up happening, it does feel like creative kind of took the idea away from Bray and ran with it with Alexa, in a sense, where he had an idea about what he wanted to do with his character and her character, and creative was like, that's cool, we're going to do our own thing.
Right.
And how much he had to do with it and how much they had to do with it is one of the things I'm most curious about. I want to know where they stymied his creativity. I want to know where he had full creative control. I'm dying to know that more than almost anything else about Bray's time in WWE. But as far as Alexa having the gimmick now and where she goes, Nick, that was our big question on Raw, right? That was our big closing question from our Raw this week. Where the hell does Alexa go from here?
Yeah.
You have all this bad will from the fans now with this gimmick, now that we know that it is not going to be the payoff that we wanted with Wyatt.
You've saddled her with Eva Marie.
Right. It doesn't seem like there's a good way out of this. I mean, the only way out of this at some point is essentially just to write her off TV for a few months and have her come back as somewhat normal Alexa.
She's going to have to be exercised in some theatrical way, right?
Exactly. Like, she's going to have to lose a big match and just go away for a while. That's really the only way out of it now. And they're just going to have to just be like, you didn't see anything. She's back, and now she's fine. Like John Cena coming out of the Firefly Funhouse, or like AJ Styles coming back the night after being buried alive, or like, hey, Rey Mysterio has two eyes again, and also totally didn't die when he was thrown off a building. Right? It's going to be like one of those WWE things where there's like,
yep,
hey, forget you saw that. Hey.
Quick sleight of hand.
Snap. Yeah. Right. So.
Is Alexa set to be doomed to the same fate? I don't think so. She's incredibly talented. I think Kyle made an excellent point in chat that this had likely evolved. She had a lot of concussions and injuries and stuff, and they're probably keeping her out of the ring to keep her bump counter low, given all the concussion stuff that she's been doing. There was a time where she was She showed up in the swamp basically after being off TV for a while. Because she had I believe, if I remember right, she had a concussion. She wasn't part of the empty arena era, the empty performance center era. She just kind of showed up at the swamp match. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out. I think the double down bad part of this is saddling her with Eva Marie. Like, that's going to go nowhere. It's treading water. It's buying time. I thought they were going to do something with Shayna when they had her and Nia coming in and interfering. I mean, Shayna versus Alexa Bliss, okay. Shayna versus Eva Marie, Alexa versus Eva Marie and Doudrop, like, I couldn't be any less interested. It's just not possible. That's right. Yeah. She was tagging with Nikki at the time. Thank you. So even with that in mind, completely out of left field, and they tried to tell the story of her going a little bit crazy and getting entranced and Nikki trying to figure out what was wrong with her, and then they had that breakup, and then it just went full batshit. So, I don't know. I think the right answer here, McGator guy, is I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. To be determined.
TBD. It's definitely looking grim.
Yep.
For her at this point.
Next up, Abraham says, so you triggered me there, Nick. Hi, everyone, by the way. This is going to be another one of those long, subjective ones. What is the best Bond film? Of the modern ones, Bronson and on, Casino Royale is the best. Brosnan, excuse me.
Yeah.
Bronson was a fantastic film, by the way.
Casino Royale's pretty good.
Still Tom Hardy's best performance, in my opinion.
Is which one?
Bronson. His portrayal of Charles Bronson.
Oh, in the movie.
It's incredible.
Bronson.
It's one of the best pieces of method acting I've seen in the last 20 years.
It's insane. Greases himself up.
Oh, God.
Anyway, yes. Okay, Casino Royale. All right.
From Pierce GoldenEye, dude.
GoldenEye is good, but Casino Royale is definitely better than GoldenEye. Yeah. Sorry. Go watch GoldenEye again. That movie's goofy as hell.
Daniel Craig has not grown on me the way that I had hoped he would. I love listen. Bond. Timothy Dalton and Pierce Brosnan a close second are my Bonds. Like, I grew up with Timothy Dalton. I later watched the Roger Moore stuff, but because it was formative years, I have an affinity to License to Kill and Living Daylights, as well as GoldenEye, World Is Not Enough, Tomorrow Never Dies. Like, those are the ones that I grew up with, my generation's Bond films. If you asked my dad or one of my best friends who is a die-hard British Bond guy, Roger Moore all the way.
No.
And again, I think that's because that's who his dad's favorite was.
Sure, and Moore was great if you like kind of the silly, winking Austin Powers James Bond.
Yeah.
I like the dark, brooding James Bond, like the guy who's a little bit scary, kind of like early Sean Connery, Dr. No.
Yeah.
From Russia with Love, like Bond's a little scary. He's
Russia
not
with
a
Love
nice
was
guy.
Fantastic.
From Russia with Love is my favorite Sean Connery Bond film. Because Bond is a little scary. Like, he's not a nice guy. And that's one thing I like about the Daniel Craig Bond is he is a flawed human being. He's not that bright. He's just he's an animal. He's extremely instinctual. I've got a whole bunch of Ian Fleming right over there, a whole bunch of the books. And that's how Daniel Craig is how he writes him, where he's essentially an animal. And not a very bright animal. There you go, dude. Nick's holding up Diamonds Are Forever. But at the same time, he has history. He's got a lot of passion. Like there's a lot going on under the surface. And Craig, I think, brings all of that. I love Daniel Craig as Bond. And he's my second favorite Bond behind Sean Connery. And only because I was raised on Sean Connery because that was my dad's James Bond.
Yeah.
My dad went to see them film Thunderball when he was living in the Bahamas.
Damn.
So like he saw that he was like, I didn't see it, but I heard when they blow up the boat in Thunderball, they run the speedboat into the rocks and it blows up. He's like, I heard that from 50 miles away. I heard them blow up that boat. Yeah, so no, I'm dude, I agree with you. It does depend on, how you was raised, what Bond films you like. But that's why my favorite of the new ones. I like Casino Royale. I think it might be my number 2. Skyfall or Spectre are really awesome though. Skyfall I love because I love cinematography and it's got Jenkins on the camera. It's the most beautiful James Bond film ever made.
The opening of Skyfall is amazing. I think the ending of Skyfall, when it goes back to simplicity,
Scotland.
They're in a barn with shotguns and like nail bombs and stuff like that. And I think that getting away from the fancy cars and the gadgets and weaponry and stuff like that kind of takes it back to some roots that I really dig about. I think Skyfall is the best Daniel Craig. We jokingly call Quantum of Solace Quantum of Bollocks because it just
that's terrible.
It's kind of and Olga is kind of just like there. She doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
I do think we're ripe for a female Bond villain. That's where this thought originally came from.
I agree. The greatest line in any of the Daniel Craig James Bond films. Waste a good scotch. God, that is the most pure James Bond line in all those movies. Anyway,
I
sorry,
do miss some of the campiness from
I don't.
Moore and Dalton and Brosnan, the cheeky British humor. You don't get as much of that with Craig.
You don't get a lot of that, but there's still some in there.
There's moments. But it's brooding in intensity for the most part.
I don't need puns every 5 seconds. Snake crawling over his legs and he goes, hiss off. Oh, shut up. Cars doing loop-de-loops over the bayou. Like, get out of here. Sorry. All right. James Bond. Sorry, Abraham. You were saying.
Let's see. The story, he's talking about Casino Royale. The story was great. The action was amazing. It paves the way for a sequel. All the other ones after that sucked, but still. Them's fighting words.
So wrong.
We're going to have to talk about Skyfall. Yeah, he was unstoppable, and the one thing that he loved was also his weakness, and also what pissed him the hell off to go through with killing the one person he was not supposed to in the end. Plus, never forget, we got Michael Scott, Dwight Schrute, and Andy Bernard doing parkour because of this movie. If that does... no.
Was it because of Quantum of Solace? That was one where they did parkour.
No. That Office was way before Quantum of Solace. Or wait, what was... Quantum of Solace was the one where they open up in the snake
with
fight
the
pit, and that he's climbing across the crane. They're doing all the jumpy stuff.
Yeah. That's what parkour is the jumpy stuff.
The jumpy stuff, yeah.
Right.
So did you name your favorite Bond film of all of them?
From Russia with Love.
I think License to Kill is probably mine. And I know it's not everybody's favorite, but it's one that I can put on and just like watch and completely check out.
I even like On Her Majesty's Secret Service more than I like the Timothy Dalton movies.
Come on, man.
Telly Savalas is one of the greatest Bond villains of all time.
Agreed.
Fight me.
Fight me. Rolling a truck, a tanker truck up onto its side wheels to let a missile go underneath it.
Yes.
Oh, that was amazing.
That's... Okay.
Thank you very much, Abraham.
The single greatest, much like Rusev, the single greatest Pierce Brosnan moment is him driving a tank through Moscow.
Yes.
He just pops up with his little hair flapping in the wind.
Nice. Oh, all right. Get to the last few here. Lots of questions. I love it. Kyle Cotton throws in, says, we already started this Friday, but I figured let's have fun talking it all the way. Let's cast golf films with pro wrestlers. Caddyshack or Happy Gilmore or both. Your choice. Who would you cast and why? Hopefully, Grizzled Young Veterans doesn't come behind you guys looking to play through. Thank you, Kyle.
Oh, man. I have not seen Caddyshack in probably about 25 years. I can actually tell you when I saw it. Yep, 25 years ago. Be about last time I saw Caddyshack. And the only thing I remember is Rodney Dangerfield, the "We're waiting" guy, Bill Murray. Bill Murray coming through.
Can't forget the varmint, the groundhog.
Groundhog.
Yep. Doing the sexy
Chevy
dance.
Chase. Chevy Chase being a
best
smarmy
part of the whole movie.
Bastard. Yeah.
Or actually, Bill Murray's speech about Varmint Kong, reflecting on Vietnam and treating, rodents and pests the same way as the VC.
And then that happened. That was nice. He lines it up at last hole of the Masters. He lines it up. I still remember a little bit of that. Who's Bill Murray? Who wrestler is Bill Murray in that movie?
Oh man. Oh, that's tough. How do you recast Bill Murray?
R-Truth.
Wow. See, I would put R-Truth as the groundhog.
I'd put Akira Tozawa as the groundhog.
That's good too. That's good too.
R-Truth doing those Bill Murray lines, like all he needs is the lisp.
Yeah. Brian said, "Who plays the Baby Ruth bar in the pool?"
I am not falling into that trap.
That's bait.
I'm not falling into that trap. That's bait.
That's bait.
Not doing it.
Let's see. Who else? Rodney Dangerfield, Cameron Grimes.
Yep. Done. Easy.
The owner of the country club. We're waiting. Well.
Yeah. God. That's when I was getting stumbled on.
Oh, I just had it. Come back. John Laurinaitis.
Yeah, that works a little too well. What about Chevy Chase? I say Cody. Who else give you like that kind of smarmy but yet a good guy thing at the same time?
Quick-witted.
Yeah.
John Cena?
Yeah, I can see Cena doing that part as well. What about Happy Gilmore? Let's knock out Happy Gilmore real quick.
Oh God, that's one
all,
I haven't seen in a long time.
Bob Barker, played by Vince McMahon, open and shut case.
Yeah.
Open and shut case. But who plays Happy Gilmore?
A kind of a down on his luck loser that is at his grandma's house and finds a bag of shitty golf
Kevin
clubs.
Owens.
Baron Corbin.
Kevin Owens. No. Kevin Owens. No. Don't go. No. Kevin Owens, because that way when he fights Vince McMahon, he can just headbutt him again.
That's true.
Yeah. Split him open.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I think that there's not much more to talk about with Happy Gilmore. That's there was the love interest, the girl. I just can't remember who played that. I've seen Billy Madison many more times than I've seen Happy Gilmore. Billy Madison was a favorite.
I was never an Adam Sandler guy, so I'm lost in this one.
Oh, we got to do Shooter McGavin. I saw that guy at Taco Bell. I don't know what's going on with the Taco Bell in Sherman Oaks. Andy and I saw Nathan Fillion there. I've seen Shooter McGavin, and I did the finger guns at him, and he kind of just laughed and shook his head. And walked away.
He was like,
I'm sure he doesn't.
Thanks,
that doesn't happen 327 times a day
before in my life.
But I don't know. I don't know what it is about that Taco Bell location, but everybody comes through there.
They all live in the valley, and it's Taco Bell.
They all live right there south of the boulevard.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Everyone lives up on the hill next to Ventura, and it's Taco Bell, and you always need Taco Bell.
Right. But at like 3 p.m. on a Wednesday, you're going inside.
Shooter McGavin in Happy Gilmore. Come on. Baron Corbin? I mean, you just said him.
No, it needs to be somebody that's like overly confident.
Adam Cole.
That's perfect.
Cole.
That's perfect.
Adam Cole. And then Drake Maverick can be Rob Schneider.
The only other one we have to do is the guy that Chubbs got his hand bit off. Played by Carl Weathers.
I mean,
Big E Langston.
I was gonna say Farouk.
Yeah, that works. Ron Simmons.
Yeah. Yeah, gets his hand bit off. Damn. There you go.
All right, there you go, Kyle.
Thank you, St. Kyle. Appreciate it very much, dude, as always.
Appreciate it, man. Kyle threw in 100 bits over here as well. Says Quantum of Solace, aka Sahara, with much less personality. And people don't like Sahara as it is. Is that the Matthew McConaughey one?
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey.
Where they go look for that boat?
Oh,
the old Ironside or something like that ends up in Africa somehow.
Yeah, with what's her name?
Penelope Cruz, I think it is.
Dollar store Salma Hayek. Yeah, Penelope Cruz.
Yeah. I like that movie. That's a fun movie. It's mostly useless.
No accounting for taste. All right, what else we got today?
Mr. Brian Average says, greetings and salutations, gentlemen. I just watched the Cardona-Nick Gage match finally, and it was leaps and bounds better than the Jericho-Gage match. If you haven't checked it out yet, I recommend it, and I'm not really a fan of death matches.
That was great, and the fan reaction at the end was fun as hell.
Awesome.
I don't care what Meltzer says.
Now to my question. We've seen wrestlers over the years utilize licensed music over the years. Below are some musical artists, and your task is to assign them to AEW wrestlers. You can also pick a particular song for the wrestler if you'd like, or you can say an original song. Amon Amarth, who are we assigning their music to?
Viking Raiders, Death and Fire.
Yes.
Or Flight of Ravens.
Rage Against the Machine.
Pursuit of Vikings. Pursuit of Vikings for the Vikings.
Oh, sure. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Rage Against the Machine.
CM Punk.
Dropkick Murphys.
Sheamus.
I don't know if I know their music other than the Irish, the one in The Departed, right?
Right. It's Irish punk. It's all Irish. It's all like that. It's all just, loud pub music.
Yeah, right.
So Sheamus.
Drinking songs.
Yeah.
Here we go. Machine Head.
All right, this one's all you. Who gets Machine Head?
The song would be Aesthetics of Hate, and it would go to Aleister Black or Malachi Black.
All right. I'm not mad at that.
This is gonna Nas. Did you get down with some Nas in the late 90s, early 2000s?
I did. I love Nas.
I don't know that I know his music catalog well enough to pick out a song. He's one of those like Tupac where I can just listen to it.
How about this? How about wait. Wait for it. I know they're already kind of doing the rap. Yeah, they're already kind of. I was gonna say Swerve Scott. I'll give it to someone else. Like who do I give it to? Chris Bay coming out to Made You Look.
There
you go.
That's good. Massive Attack. Now I am
Jesus. Who do you want?
I'm secretly a Massive Attack.
I'm a fan. Huge Massive Attack fan. I've got all their shit on vinyl from the day. Love Massive Attack. Inside information. 3D is actually Banksy. Anyway, Massive Attack.
My two favorite songs are I think it's Teardrop and Angel.
I was gonna say Angel's a really good. Well, that's everyone's favorites.
Right. But I mean, Angel would work really good, especially once it gets into the guitar riff. It's kind of that one note repeating.
Yeah.
That would work really good as an entrance for somebody where the drums kick in, because the beginning's a little slow. But I'm thinking of somebody like a Penelope Ford. By the way, we're breaking the rules a little bit. We had to say AEW wrestlers.
Oh, it's AEW only?
Yeah.
I'm
thinking of something kind of seductive almost.
Man, you can't tell me to do Amon Amarth and not let me do Viking Raiders.
I'll let that one slide, but Nas with Chris Bay, I'm also gonna let that one go because that's too perfect. That's really well done. Okay, he also said you can go anywhere, so he gave us an out in chat.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Sweet.
Massive Attack. God, who's got a really... You know who would actually benefit from something like that? Is stop doing the I'm the prettiest girl in wrestling or prettiest girl in WWE and make it a little bit more seductress. Succubus-like is Carmella.
Does do Dissolved Girl off of Mezzanine?
I don't know that one.
Okay.
I would if I heard it. I don't know which track that is. I don't know all the names of them. But I'm talking about that riff that's in Angel.
Doom 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 doom.
But when the drums pick up and you get the actual riff, right? And it gets a little open chord, open strummy.
Right. Oh, at the end of the song, where it really opens up.
Yeah, where it starts rocking a little bit. But she's
right.
Something like that for if they want to make a kind of prettiest girl, seductress kind of thing. They're not doing it the right way now. But something like that for Carmella, I think would work a lot better.
All right. There you
go. Kyle said Nick saying he wants someone to have something seductive makes me curious who could pull off WAP as an entrance theme.
Hey, Bianca Belair's making friends with Megan Thee Stallion. Why not?
Megan Thee Stallion, yeah.
Carmella could pull off WAP. That's her gimmick right now.
Tony Storm.
Tony. Hey, man, we're almost done with the show. Don't give Nick a heart attack now. Come on.
Wet
all right,
and
what else
gushy.
we got? Stop. Oh, come on.
What? That's the clean version.
There we go.
Macaroni in a pot.
Don't ever hit. Do you see what happens when you pass a stranger in the Alps? Do you see what happens when you pass a stranger in the Alps? All right.
Oh, all right. Billy Joel.
What else we got? Billy Joel. Billy Joel.
Uptown Girl for who would be an Uptown Girl?
I may be crazy for Cameron Grimes.
Oh, that's good.
Or if we're stuck to the AEW, maybe crazy for Chucky T would be fun. Or I
was trying to the other Billy Joel songs I like. I like Allentown, but that's not really a good entrance theme. Would Piano Man work for anybody?
No, God, no. God, no. No.
Please, God, no.
No. However, oh, God. I'm trying to think who's a pyro right now. I can't say Kane. Like, who would be good for We Didn't Start the Fire? Like, Bray Wyatt comes out burned. We didn't start the fire.
I totally started the fire.
Right. We did. Yeah, Rosemary. There you go.
Yeah, that's good.
Rosemary. There you go.
All right, last but certainly not least, Cradle of Filth.
You already used Malachi Black, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Come on,
I'm
man.
regretting that now.
Yeah, you should. Well, I guess the door's open. We already used Rosemary. That's the other good one. I mean, if Code Orange hadn't already said that they would do Bray's next song if he ever comes back, they said that he was like, doesn't matter where you go, we got your next one.
All right.
I would say Bray when he comes
I'll
back.
twist it a little bit. We can use Cradle of Filth for Black. I'll switch Machine Head's song to From This Day is the name of the song, and we'll put it on
Miro?
Thunder Rosa.
Okay. She's already got like a Sepultura thing going on, so not mad at that.
But it's kind of a more upbeat, kind of facey song.
Yeah.
You know, arena rock kind of song.
Oh, God. Abaddon, of course.
Oh,
Cradle of Filth,
God.
Abaddon. Done.
Oh,
Sold.
yes.
Forget it. Yep. 100%. 100%.
All right. Last but certainly not least, Mr. Chris Costanza says, sneaking one in this week. Been watching a lot of the Olympics and got me thinking if pro wrestling was an Olympic sport, book an 8-man tournament using AEW, WWE, NXT, and New Japan. Apparently, Dog Ziggler's a fan of this idea.
He's in. He wants to do this.
All the promotions and who would win the gold, silver, bronze. As always, peace and love to the BWO family and the godfathers of the BWO nation. Thank you, Chris.
Oh, my. Thank you. So
we have to book an 8-man tournament with the 4 big promotions. AEW, WWE, NXT, New Japan.
Let's go big with this. Let's get all the big dudes, right? So Drew, Okada.
Do you pick Roman or Lashley as his
Roman?
Okay, so Drew and Roman for WWE representation.
Let's get all the big stars in this.
All right.
Drew, Okada, Roman, Naito, Jericho.
Kenny Omega in AEW.
There you go. Omega.
So Jericho and Omega.
Yeah, so Drew, Okada, Roman, Naito, Jericho, Omega. We got 2 more to get.
We need NXT. Karrion Kross.
Oh, come on. That's boring.
Yeah, it is.
He's boring.
Samoa Joe.
Adam Cole and Samoa Joe.
Oh, that's a pair.
Might be an actual match soon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 8. There we go.
2 from each?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Who would win?
Shall we roll this out?
So we're rolling this one. All right.
We're rolling this out. That's how we do it.
To close
That's how
out
we do it. Roll it out
show.
to close out the show. Yep.
Daniel Bryan needs to be in there. He doesn't have a home right now that we know of.
He needs to be somewhere.
Yeah, he needs to be somewhere to qualify.
As far as I'm concerned, he's retired right now. All right. 1. So
what are we rolling for?
I just have this. I have this written down just the way it is. So Drew and Okada is the first ones we said. So Drew and Okada. You take Drew. I'll take Okada.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Oh, a 9 for the Okada.
15. Drew McIntyre beats
Drew.
Okada.
Drew moves on. What kind of booking is this? Roman versus Naito.
Oh.
I'll take Naito. You take Roman. 1, 2, 3. A 10 for Naito.
2.
Oh.
And it was
What
one.
happened,
It was
Roman?
one panel from a 20. Son of a bitch.
Good Lord. Roman Reigns apparently no longer being acknowledged.
He couldn't stand
By
sitting
the-
there
by
watching
Nick Dice.
Naito take his suit off slower than his entrance.
He fell asleep.
Right.
All right. You take Jericho. I'll take Omega. 1, 2, 3. A 4 for Kenny Omega.
15.
All right.
Omega
Jericho
and Roman
full-
Reigns are eliminated?
Jesus
And Okada?
Christ. Hey, it's the Olympics, man. Anything can happen, right?
All right.
Simone Biles isn't competing. Dudes tripping over hurdles. We don't know what's going to happen. Apparently, Jericho pulled off that frog splash, though. And finally, Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe.
Oh.
I'll take Joe. You take Cole. 1, 2, 3. 14 for Samoa Joe.
7. That makes sense.
Oh, Joe. That does make sense.
That's the first
All
one
right.
that makes sense.
It does. Let's see. How do we get our top 3 here? Oh, I know. Okay, so Drew versus Naito. I'll take Drew. I'll take Naito. You take Drew.
All right.
1, 2, 3. 11 for old
18.
Naito. Oh, Drew going on to the finals. And Jericho versus Joe. 1, 2, 3. Joe gets a 4. Oh, no.
That's a 9.
All right, so Jericho and Drew moving on to the gold medal round. However, we have to have our losers fight as well. Naito versus Joe, Samoa Joe, on 3. 1, 2, 3 for Joe, and 11.
An 8.
Oh, Samoa Joe getting the bronze. And between Drew and Jericho, who gets the gold, who gets the silver? 1, 2, a 3. A 9 for Jericho.
A 4.
Oh, no.
Jericho wins gold?
I mean, it just seems about right, doesn't it?
Oh, my God. Oh, my
There you
God.
go. There's your Olympics.
There
Jericho
you go, Costanza.
taking home the gold. Drew McIntyre with the silver, and Samoa Joe with the bronze.
Just remember, you did this.
Yeah, and you guys did all of this. Thank you guys for asking all those questions. We really appreciate it. If you wanted to ask questions on the show, just head over to linktree.com/BWO. Find us on Patreon or on YouTube. Sign up for one of our reward tiers, and you too can ask questions every week for less than the cost of a cup of coffee a month. So help us out. Have fun on this show. We love doing this. Thank you guys very much. We know we went long today because there were so many questions, and we were going to have a lot of fun with it. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
That's how it goes. So thank you guys very much, and hopefully we'll see you back here soon. This Friday, of course, after SmackDown will be our next show.
Maybe. Is Rampage this week or
What?
next week?
Oh, it's
the
Why you gotta
13th. I
drop
think it's
something?
next Friday.
No, it's next Friday. Don't do that. It's next Friday.
Sorry.
Jesus.
But until Friday night, we will see you guys then. My name is Nick Howell. You can find me on Twitter at DataCenterDude.
And I am Sir Ian Dangerous. You can find me on Twitter at Sir Ian Dangerous.
Bye-bye, God!
Would somebody stop the damn match?
This show is part of the Orbital Jigsaw Network. For more episodes, subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher Radio. For details and show notes from each episode, check us out, orbitaljigsaw.com.